Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another live Qigong on the Golden Light Network. I'm Yasmin, and I hope you've enjoyed the New Year practice if you were there for this one. So this week we're going to do a very similar routine. You'll see that we do a very similar warm-up and are duplicating many of the exercises so that people can find consistency, that their body can get used to the energies, and also just so that you could carry on this practice if you wanted to in your own time and space. It'll become kind of second nature. Your body will train into the muscle memory, and it's quite gentle that way. It's easy to relax into when you're more aware of what's coming. So we'll start with a gentle warm up as ever. So just acknowledging the masters of my lineage from which I've learned. So we're going to start with silk reeling. So we'll just open up them wrists like a figure of 8 in front of the body. So shoulders are nice and relaxed, elbows nice and relaxed, really flexing them fingers and going the opposite way. Really turning them wrists, flexing the fingers, opening up the space in our fascia, just creating some space in the body. Now with your elbows almost in a fixed position, and again, you can flex the fingers, just turning the arms out, the other way. Now the shoulders, so taking the backs of the palms forward, round to the side and back. Lovely, and the opposite way. So the backs of the palm push slightly out to the back behind your body. And letting the shoulder muscles, the tops of the arms, bring the rest of your arms around. And then just a few times backwards to reset the shoulders, open up the chest. And we'll place our hands on our hips. You know your neck best, so I always suggest listening to your body. You're going to just turn the neck a few ways just to open up the neck in its different positions. I always try to lift the crown slightly to protect the head as I turn to the right, center, and left. You can always do what you know feels right for your neck at this point. If there's any variations you're used to doing to open up and warm your neck. And this time just a slight lift into the floor, up, and to the floor. And then just taking the neck gently to the side, keeping the crown nice and lifted, and to the other side. Onto the waist first. So imagine your hips are still stationary. Everything, hips below are still and firm. You've got a solid foundation. We're just going to circle like from the chest and the rib cage. Just opening up the side body in the opposite way. Good, and now with the hips, and imagine trying to bring your rib cage kind of slightly pull in as the hip goes that way to pull this way, just again to keep that nice opening in the side body. And the opposite way. Good. So just a slight widening of the legs. We'll just go gently up and down a few times just to wake up the lower body. Just dropping the tailbone and lifting, trying to keep the spine nice and straight. Wake up the legs. And then bringing the legs close together. Hands on the knees. Again, find what feels good for your body. I'm quite gentle with my knees. Just some gentle circles, opening up the ankle joints from the knees and the opposite way. Still find a nice lift in the crown so the weight's not all in the legs. And then just balancing to one side. And we're just going to do some circles, or if you're seated, circles with the ankle one way and the other. Shaking to the front, to the side and behind. Shifting the balance into the other side. Getting a nice flex of them toes if you're barefoot. The opposite way. Shaking to the front, side and the back. Lovely. Okay, so we will make a start with our spinal openings called knocking on the door of life. So we're just going to turn from the hips and the waist, knocking gently on the lower back and either side of the spine, but not directly on the spine itself. And we're turning from the hips and the waist, and the arms we lift right at the end. So leaving your arms nice and loose, and let your hips and waist move the whole body. And to get an extra bit of a stretch in the neck, turning to look behind you. And then facing forward and still swinging. So we're just opening up the waist with our neck forward. Slowing it down. Slowing it down. Slowing it down. So we'll move on now to spinal cord breathing. So take our arms up. Opening the chest to breathe in. And closing. This one's a bit like cat-cow for those that are used to yoga. It's the same kind of movement. So we're opening the chest, really lifting the chest. And then as we're closing, we're imagining creating space in the back of the spine. Imagine the back of the spine opening up, keeping the tailbone slightly tucked. You can do this with your own breath. Breathing out. And breathing in to open. Energizing the body, relaxing the nervous system. And last one. And arms down. This next one is called picking the cherries. So we're imagining we're reaching up and we're keeping our hips anchored down. We're just reaching up as if we're picking cherries from a tree. And the side of the lifted arm, we're focusing on anchoring that hip down to get a nice stretch in the spine and the side body. Keeping a nice lift in the crown. Last one. Lovely. Give it a little bit of a shake. This next one is called Stork Spreads Its Feathers. So this one's to open the tops of the shoulders. So we're going to bring our arms round to the front and pushing slightly back as we sink slightly down with the tailbone as well. So hips go slightly back as we go forward, arms come round, and then fingertips pushing down. One more time. And this time we keep our hands to the back. As we then take our neck, crown lifting up. You should feel a gentle pull from the tips of your fingers down here, all the way down the side of the neck, the tops of the shoulders, getting a nice bit of opening. And then bringing the chin down all the way across. This one's good. People used to using computers or their phone. Loosening up the shoulders. That's it. And we're going to carry on with our chi scattering like we did last week to clear any energies ready for the new year. So we're going to take one arm to the back and the opposite arm to the front. Doesn't matter which way around. And then we're going to come back to the center and round the other way. Slight bounce, so we'll lift up. Slight bounce in the legs as we're going round. Imagining the waist is driving the movement. Knees and hips, the energy is coming up from the floor. We're just going to sigh out at the side and breathe into the center. With a nice loud audible sigh, just releasing any energies from this year we don't need. Any tension in the body. And slowing it down. Lovely. So just checking in with your body, noticing how it feels. We'll go on to shake the tree. So with a gentle bounce, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing the knees, the hips. Really flexing those wrists, flicking at the fingertips. Keeping a nice lift in the crown. Imagine lifting from the tailbone. With a nice audible sigh. There's a recent research study done with different types of breathing. And they showed that different types of breathing, box breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, breath retentions, and they found one of the most effective breaths for relieving stress in the body is a simple sigh. This is great to do if you're feeling stressed or nervous. You can see athletes doing it before an event, nervous. Breathing and loosening up the body. So if there's any areas of tension or tightness, giving them a little bit of extra attention. Imagining that tension dissipating with the movement. Slowing it down, and noticing how you feel. The arms loose at the sides. You might feel a tingling in your body. And we'll go to our general Wuji posture. So we're going to face our hands down. Wuji meaning the highest state of nothing. So just imagining nice, gentle lift in the crown, relaxing the arms and the shoulders, staying active in the hands. Our legs, our feet are slightly wider than hip width. We're feeling a lift slightly from our core, almost as if we're leaning on a table here slightly. If you rock slightly more to the tops of your foot, you might just feel a little bit more energy opening up the microcosmic orbit. You touch the roof of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and just help some energy circulate through the orbit at the front and the back of the body, bringing some balance. We hold this posture to start, just to settle the body, to build a bit of energy, a bit of awareness. Taking some nice deep breaths into the abdomen, just holding for another 30 seconds or so. Imagining a marionette string from the crown of the head lifting you up so you're standing almost weightlessly, effortlessly, while feeling the solid foundation of your legs. Breathing into all four sides of the torso. 10 seconds. Before we go on to our first of our flow series called Compressing the Pearl. So hands almost mirroring the pelvis. So we start at the pelvis and we're going to lift our arms to the side like pumping a bellows. Imagine the elbows and the wrists almost staying the same, so the lift's coming from the shoulders. So we're breathing in to lift and breathing out to compress. So imagine you're opening up, you're gathering breath as you breathe in, and then almost like that energy is concentrating right in a ball in front of you. Slight lift in the legs and gentle sink in. Before we go on to our next exercise, flying hands. So we turn our hands to face the body. Arms lifting up the torso to sternum height. Backs of the wrists press forward while we turn them so the hands are parallel and sinking down. Breathing in to come up. And when we've turned the wrists to parallel, we start to breathe out. One more time, shoulders nice and relaxed. Arms to the side. Before we go on to opening the chest. So we're going to bring our arms rounded. So imagining rounding your back like we were in the warm-up. Bring the arms so the palms are facing each other, and at the chest height we turn them, lift up and round. At this point we breathe in, as if we're breathing into the back of the ribs, back of the chest, opening up the back of the spine, and then breathing out to bring the arms round. Breathing in, really rounding the back, lifting, breathing out. And the wrist. One more time. Arms to the side, and just notice how your body feels. Before we go on to swimming dragon. So imagine we've got an elevator in front of us. Arms are extended but not overstretched. We're lifting one arm up and one arm down, keeping the crown nice and lifted. Palms parallel to the floor, and imagine your middle finger like a key in a lock. So we're pushing the hands apart, turning the key. Feeling a bit of a stretch in the spine. And this time we'll add the breath. So we're going to breathe out when we push our hands apart. And breathe into center. So when the hands cross, we exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Find your own rhythm. And back to the center. Arms to the side, and notice how you feel. Before we go on to swimming bear, so we're going to open up our chest. And this one's a bit like breaststroke. So hands are almost forming a diamond at the front, and we're opening up the chest, lifting the knees. Hands go slightly behind. And we're exhaling. Even the chest comes slightly forward, and then standing taller. Arms behind. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And as you exhale, you can imagine releasing all you don't need anymore. And on the inhale, we're breathing in new inspiration, new energy, new ideas for the year. Breathing out the old. Breathing in the new. Really opening up the chest. Still feeling the shoulders nice and relaxed. Last time. And then we're just going to do 3, bringing it back to the heart. So imagine breathing into the heart and then the arms come round to the side. Arms go out to the side, backs of the palms come together at the front. And we twist them in so the palms are resting upwards at our chest. Just one more time, just breathing all that into the heart. And arms settle at the side. Before we do drawing down the heavens, so arms will go out to the sides. And imagine purple light just washing down through your whole body. Just smoothing and settling the body. Just like lift and sink as we come down. Purple light washing through. Smoothing out any tension, any tightness. Just breathing in whatever quality of energy we most need now. Whether it's peace, love, compassion. Maybe it's more energy. Imagine that washing through. Letting your body relax down. This purple light washes all the way through the mind, the body. Final time. And this time as the hands come together, you take the forefinger and the thumb and overlap them and bring that into our abdomen. And we're just going to take some nice deep breaths as we bring the feet together to do bamboo sways in the wind. There's a slight bend in the knees now, lifting the crown as if that marionette string's still holding us up. We're just going to let the body rock and sway like bamboo in the wind. Chin slightly tucked, lifting the crown. Seeing how low we can feel the breath in the torso. And then breathe into all sides of the torso that we've opened up. Perhaps noticing any areas of tightness or tension still in your body. Just imagine white light washing free all the tension. Imagine it dissipating as you rock and sway. Imagine the top of your crown, the top of your head relax and melt. Eyes gently soften. Washes relaxation down your neck, your shoulders, right the way down to the tips of your fingers. Every vertebrae in your spine. The chest, internally and externally. The abdomen, inside and outside. Feel it wash down your hips, your glutes, the hamstrings and knees, down the calves, the ankles, to the tips of the toes, the whole body relaxed, yet standing effortlessly, a state of effortless effort. Balance of suppleness and flexibility, that solidarity of the spine, the upright. Perfectly balanced now as we bring our legs shoulder width again. We're going to circle this time. I'm not going to mirror you. This will be me going around my intestines. So we're just going to circle around the abdomen, coming up the right side and down the left. I'm just going to center all of that energy we've built in the practice, just relaxing down the abdomen, bringing it to center. Taking one more nice deep breath and relax with an audible sigh. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us. Namaste. Hope you feel differently from how you started. Just notice how you feel. Hope you like this practice. If you did, please like and subscribe and share this so that we can share this peace and this practice with people far and wide, whoever needs it and feels drawn to it. Take care, everyone.